What's up, y'all? It's Kamikaze MMA coming back for another video talking about the UFC fight card coming up this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's Fiorot versus Erin Blanchfield. All right, let's start with this is gonna be a shorter video. The cards are just so terrible recently. 300 is gonna be fun though. Looking forward to it. Still a little sad about the Cameron Simon loss. I'm gonna make a video about the Namajunas versus Ribas fight because man, that was a terrible card. It was entertaining, but it was terrible. It just was a terrible card. I mean, it started with the biting. I mean, it was entertaining, like I was saying, but it was just a boring card. McParkin, Andre Lima. McParkin looked better than I thought he would, to be honest, but Muhammad Usman also looked better than I thought he would in the striking. McParkin's striking's okay, but a little overrated. Neither of them are going to be champs. Think that fight confirmed it. Your guru's opinions on the Rendon versus Daria fight. So yeah. Well, not much else to that fight. Jarno, Stephen Gwen. Not too much to that fight. Jarno just looked the best he's ever looked. That was it. Miles Johns should not be in the UFC. Cody Gibson should not be fighting, period. Oh, man. Ricardo Ramos fumbled so bad. He fumbled so bad. So bad. Kurt just doesn't belong in the UFC. I thought he was going to find a finish, but I thought Trey was going to get the decision if he couldn't. Fernando's pretty good. He's an upcoming talent. Yusuf Zalal's looked really good in that fight. Looked better than I thought he would, to be honest. So, pretty good. Make that fight next. Fernando versus Yusuf. That's an awesome fight. Oh, Peyton Talbot versus Cameron Simon was hard to watch. I was sad. He's a kid. I was sad. Emin Shabazian scared me in that fight, but you know, he got it done. Thought Carl Williams was going to get finished, too, that whole time, but he got the decision win. Rose just basically bored herself out of ever getting a main event again in her life. But moving on to the main stuff of this, I just wanted to talk about that card a little bit because I didn't make a video about it because it was just a terrible card. I just didn't have the time to make a video about it. But I'll make a video after this card talking about this. The Angel Pasillo versus Colin Logren. Lost to Taylor Lopulus. See, so the thing with these fights, yep, this is his debut, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, the dude on his debut is gonna win. The other dude's proven he's not UFC. We haven't seen the other dude. He is 32 though. He fought Taylor Lopulus this year, no? Well, last year, but yeah, same. Still technically this year. It hasn't been September. I have to look into at least a little bit of the share dog because Tapology, something. Is he coming off a loss? Yeah, whatever. I'm going Laugren, actually. The other dude's 32. Just would seem sensible to pick Laugren. He's the younger fighter. Man, 5'5" at bantamweight's pretty bad though. I thought this was featherweight. 5'5" at bantamweight's terrible. Man, yeah, I'm still going with him though. I don't know. Now the Andre Petrosky versus Jacob Malkoun fight, I'm a little more confident on. I'm gonna just go ahead and move on because there's no point in me talking to that. Andre Petrosky beat Gerald Meerschaert, who I think is a really good fighter. I personally think he's a pretty good fighter. He's a good test for people, but I mean, I just don't really have much faith in Andre Petrosky because I think he lost that fight personally. And I think Jacob Malkoon's just a little bit better than him. So I'm going Jacob Malkoon by any way he wants, submission, knockout, or decision. I don't think Petrosky has much of a chance other than just kind of fluking his way to a decision. I don't even think he could fluke himself to a finish. How many UFC finishes does he have? He has 10 fights total. He has one submission in the UFC. Okay, he has 2 submissions and he has 1 KO. Oh, he has 2 KOs. Oh no, he got KO'd. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going Jacob Malkoon any way he wants. I don't think Petrosky's got a chance, to be real. Now Victoria Dudakova versus Melissa Gatto. I think most people are gonna go Victoria here. She already beat Jinyu Frey. She beat Estela Nunez. She's on a 2-fight win streak in the UFC. And the other girl just lost to Irene Lipsky, and that's her only fight in the UFC. I think it would be stupid not to go for Victoria Dudakova, undefeated. Just looks better too, like in her fights, just looks better. So, gotta go Victoria Dudakova for this fight. This probably will be Melissa Gatto's last fight in the UFC, but she's only had one, but it was already a loss, so who knows. Ibo Aslan versus Anton Turkalj. Now they already fought. I'm sure y'all know this. They already fought. So, Anton won by rear naked choke. I'm pretty sure, and he's coming off 2 wars. One where he got KO'd in the first round, but that was still a war. Now it wasn't a fight. It was a one-sided war. But anyways, Ibo's coming off. I think it was. Let me just make sure. I think it was. He's coming off 4 TKOs, 4 KO TKOs, all in round 1. Anton Turkalj probably has little to no chance unless he could find a lucky submission. Don't see it at all. I'd put a house on Ibo Aslan for this fight. So, already Victoria Dudakova and Ibo Aslan are 2 locks of the card, I think. Now it is women's flyweight. It is a women's fight, so I can't say confidently that one or the other is going to win. But it's a light heavyweight. Ibo Aslan's winning. Okay. Moving up the card. Dennis Bazooka versus Connor Matthews. I really don't think either of these guys are great. So it's hard for me to pick unless I feel like someone's actually good. Now who I am gonna pick is Connor Matthews, I think. Just because one of his only losses, his only recent loss. I think his only loss professionally. Yeah, his only loss professionally was to Francis Marshall, who I think is really good. So, and he lost to him by decision. Unfortunately I haven't seen that Dana White Contenders fight, but I think Connor Matthews has got it. Dennis Bazookas just doesn't seem really that good. I mean, he just doesn't seem good. And I'm not trying to be mean, it just seems how it is. Now, he is 26, he could get better, but his last fight against Jamal Emmers was how long ago? It was in November. And he got KO'd in 49 seconds. So, I don't know. I would have waited a little bit longer if I was Dennis Bazooka. But, yeah, I got Connor Matthews. Probably by decision, possibly in a KO. Just because he's coming off the KO. So, yeah, that's what I got for that. Not a lock of the card at all. Dennis Bazooka could definitely have improved since then. Who knows? Julio Arce versus Herbert Burns. Julio Arce. Herbert Burns is 36 in the featherweight division. Julio Arce has beat Dan Ige, I'm pretty sure. Lost to Montel Jackson, which isn't terrible. Beat Daniel Santos. Lost to Song Yadong, which isn't terrible. He did get KO'd, however, which is not great. beat Juliana Rosa, who he should have beat. Yeah, he beat Dan Ige in his debut, his UFC debut. He beat Dan Ige. That's kind of crazy. But that was a while ago. But Herbert Burns is not good. I don't even know if he has any wins in the UFC. Okay, he has one win. His debut against Evan Durham. All right, Julio Arce is winning this fight. Another lock of the card, probably. Honestly. Moving on to the next lock of the card, Lupe Godinez, I think is definitely winning this fight. She had a close fight with Tabitha Ritchie. Now, that was a close fight. But that fight before against Elise Reed, was watching that fight live. And, like, that was a memorable performance. Especially for women strawweight, that was very memorable. She was throwing her everywhere. She was beating up a Taekwondo black belt. Lupe Godinez is a lock of the card. Now, Verna, I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name. Jandiroba. Oh, it's not that hard. Jandiroba. Isn't terrible. And she's on a good win streak. She's on a very good win streak. Her last loss was to Amanda Ribas. Since then, she's beat Angela Hill, which I think so has Lupe Godinez. And she's beat Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is good. It's a good win. So, obviously not a full lock of the card because it is a women's fight and it's just impossible. It's just genuinely impossible to predict them. Unless you're Macy. What was her name? Macy. I forget the name, but the one. Unless you're Macy Chason, then I can predict it. But every other women's fight, it's just impossible to predict, at least for me. Moving up the card, Jamal Emmers versus Nate Landwehr. Now, I'm picking Jamal Emmers, okay? Jamal Emmers, if y'all don't know this, has a win over Corey Sandhagen, okay? So, I think that's all I have to say. That Jack Jenkins fight, he should have won, in my opinion. It was a close fight, but I think he could have won that. I'm going Jamal Emmers. Now, I think Nate Landwehr does have the dog in him to put him out. 100%. 100%. But, man, Nate Landwehr is just bad. He's just bad. He's just not good at mixed martial arts. He's good at striking. He's got good takedown defense. And, you know, he's not terrible because he's got that heart. He got KO'd by Juliana Rosa, okay? How do you get TKO'd by Juliana Rosa, okay? I just can't. He got TKO'd by Herbert Burns. Come on. Like, I just can't willingly pick Nate Landwehr for this fight. I just can't. Jamal Emmers is winning this fight, I think. Not a lock of the card because this is difficult. Julio Arce, Ibo Aslan, and Victoria Dudakova are my picks for my locks for the preliminary card. Jamal Emmers is a strong pick. Lupe Godinez, I think, is a strong pick. And I think Connor Matthews is a strong pick as well. Jacob Malkoun, Andrzej Petrosky could go either way, but I think I'm heavily leaning towards Jacob. And the Angel versus Colin fight is just hard to predict. Haven't seen them really perform in the UFC, so at least not have a memorable performance. Reese McKee versus Chidi Njokuani. I think I've seen Chidi fight, and Chidi Boom Boom, right? Now he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Okay, to Mikhail Olenjacek, who we just saw lose to Michelle Pereira. And Reese McKee's losing. He lost to the person who shall not be named. Which, if you don't know who that is, go to my video about the Tybura versus Tuivasa. The recap on that, go to that video and you'll figure out who's he who shall not be named. Because don't want to give any attention to that dude. But losing to him, terrible. Terrible. You're losing, bro. You're losing. You're ending Chidi's 2-fight losing streak because he lost to the person who shall not be named. Not because I'm scared of them, because they're actively the worst fighter in the UFC. Um, Not really, obviously. Skill's not terrible for who I'm talking about, but just quitting their last performance, completely quit. And then tried to talk shit after. You can't do that. If you're going to quit, quit like a man. Don't talk. Moving up, Bill Algeo versus Kyle Nelson. I think Bill Algeo's winning. Just got off the win. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Yeah, 2-fight win streak. Lost to Andre Philly, who's not a terrible person to lose to. Not the best person to lose to, but not a terrible person to lose to. Lost to Kyle Nelson, however, lost to Fernando Padilla, who's not a terrible person to lose to. I think Fernando would probably beat Andre Philly now. But I just don't see Kyle Nelson winning this fight. I really don't. I think it's going to be a super boring fight because both of these dudes just kind of point fight. So I think it's going to be super boring, but I think Bill Algeo is just a better point fighter. Moving up to Ruzaboyev versus Cedric Dumas. I think I gotta go Ruzaboyev. He's coming off one win with Bruno Ferreira, which was a KO. Bruno Ferreira is a good striker too, so that's a good win. Cedric Dumas is coming off some wins. He lost to Josh Frim though, and he beat Cody Brundage by decision, and he beat Abu Azatar by decision. I don't think he's really got. I think he's a middle of the line UFC fighter, which is good. That's a good fighter, but I don't think you're. I think Ruzaboyev is just a little bit better. Moving up the card, Chris Weidman versus Bruno Silva. Gotta go Bruno Silva. Chris Weidman's almost 40. Coming off a loss, where he should have retired in, because he looked good against Brad Tavares for a 38-year-old when you fought him. He looked good. Should have retired after that fight. He's not going to look as good in this fight, I don't think. However, Bruno Silva's not that good either. And the best fight of his whole career was probably against Alex Pereira, which is sad. Well, it's not sad. It's just sad that Alex couldn't KO him or finish him in some way. Sharipov Magomedov fight was terrible for both of them. I just don't see a way Chris Weidman is winning this fight just due to all of his injuries. He's 39, and he's coming off a pretty bad, brutal loss. Bruno Silva's coming off a loss that he could have won, because, to be fair, the only times he really got hurt was from the up kicks, because Sharipov was on his back for the whole fight, which I don't know how he won that fight, to be real. I know he did way more damage, but it just didn't look good for him. It was a good fight, though, but terrible look for both of them. It was fun, though. Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. Vicente Luque is winning this fight. Joaquin Buckley has never been at that top level. Maybe he could get there now. Coming off a win against Alex Morono. I don't think he's at that level, and I think Vicente Luque is getting old. So if this is the perfect time for Buckley to win this fight, I still think Luque's probably going to get it, but I could see Buckley winning. But Vicente Luque is my pick for this fight, just based on how I've seen them fight, to be honest. But Vicente Luque, it's coming off a win against Rafael Dos Anjos, which is really good. Lost to Bilal Muhammad, which isn't terrible. Now, the Jeff Neal in 2022, which is only 2 years ago, terrifying. Terrifying to go back in to fighting. But he's looked good since that fight. I mean, he's only had one fight, but he's looked good. He probably would have KO'd Ian Garry. And I would have been more confident to pick Vicente Luque against Ian Garry. But Ian Garry's, we all know what Ian Garry is and didn't want to fight him. Probably because Layla said no. But yeah, no. I don't think Joaquin Buckley has much of a chance in this fight. I think he could win. I just don't think he's at that level. Vicente Luque has been a top 10, top 5 fighter for the past, I don't even know how many years. Probably 10 almost. Yeah, almost 10 years. He got in the UFC in 2015. He lost his debut, but ever since... So, okay. So, for about 8 years, he's been in the top 10, top 15 area in the UFC. And he's looked good the whole time. I don't think Joaquin Buckley's touched the top 10. He might have been in the top 15 at some point. Now, there is a chance, of course, because he is younger, and he's only 3 years younger, though. But he's got a longer reach. He is shorter, though. Now, moving on to the main card. Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. Erin Blanchfield's winning this fight. No doubt about it. Probably the most confident I've ever been about a WMMA pick. Manon Fiorot's not good. I really don't think she's good. I think Caitlin Chukagian, I think Jennifer Maya, and I think Rose Namajunas are not good. Now, she did beat Mayra Buena Silva, but we found out Mayra Buena Silva isn't good either. Where's Juliana Pena? That's my main question. Only good female fighter right now because she beat Amanda Nunes somehow. Don't know how. Erin Blanchfield's winning this fight. Now, her inexperience at only the age of 24 could get to her. But Manon Fiorot's 34, okay? And I just don't have any... She has a shorter reach for being... Why is Erin Blanchfield 5'3" with a 66-inch reach? That's crazy. It's Volkanovski right there. That's wild. Yeah, I don't think Manon Fiorot has a chance. This might be my only luck. Besides Chitty, because Reese lost to you-know-who. Obviously, still not a terrible loss. He's not terrible. But I think I think Bruno Silva and Erin Blanchfield are my locks for the main card. Thank y'all so much. This is a little bit of a shorter video. Just wanted to get this out there. Maybe it's the same as my other videos because I talked about the other fight first, but just wanted to get that out there. I was so disappointed with the last card just because everyone who won seemed weird. I don't know, it's just weird to me. But yeah, have a good night. Peace out.